TV network.
This is what she chat and me say what she tell me. Loving that she give me, nobody not gonna know. Keep it on the hush, keep it on the low. Ragamuffin at the college star of the show. Anywhere me go, I say the girl them follow. The way that me...
Power through anything with Pulse Energy Drink. Choose from mango, sugar-free, and original. Get charged with Pulse.
Guyana TV network.
Power through anything with Pulse Energy Drink. Choose from mango, sugar-free, and original. Get charged with Pulse. Power through anything with Pulse Energy Drink. Choose from mango, sugar-free, and original. Get charged with Pulse.
Good evening and welcome to HowZat Guyana's weekly cricket TV talk show. I have to say, guys, we have so much in store for you this week. Of course, I'm joined by my trusted co-host Sean Levers, and then Timothy Jaikaran, Michelangelo Jacobus, and Brandon Corlett. This week, we have so much in store. As I mentioned, we have two guests, one cricketer, and one we can call an administrator or an organizer. And we're going to get a lot of perspectives and a lot of insight on things coming up in the world of cricket pretty soon.
Yes, well, it's going to be a packed program. We've got, I hope that Miss Andrews is worth her salt. We'll wait and see. I've never heard of her though, so I'm waiting. But we've got a lot of things to discuss. We've got the fan questions. We've got the answers to the quiz.
And the new questions.
Yeah, and the new questions.
Yes, of course, as usual, every week we have some money to be won on HowZat. So you guys have to stick around to find out how you can cash in on $100 US. And of course, we have all the updates of what has been going on, not only in Guyana, but across the region in cricket. I think we just concluded the under-19 inter-county tournament in Guyana. We have the women's T20 Blaze being played in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And of course, we have the Breakout League being played in Trinidad and Tobago. Wider afield, we have the IPL that is capturing the attention of a lot of my co-hosts. A lot of them biting their nails, hoping that their team makes it into that top four. Me personally, my team is at number one.
Yeah.
For how long?
Yes.
Man, Brandon, please.
My team is at number 4.
Yes.
But we have one extra match than all the teams.
But my team,
that's
Mumbai
fine, that's
Indians, they are
Struggling?
accustomed to winning championships. So there won't be any more hiccups along the way. They'll just win it like just another day.
For your
walk in the
sake,
yard.
Brandon, I really hope so. I really hope so.
I'm telling you.
I hope you guys have noticed that Michelangelo is eerily quiet in the corner.
The silence.
It's loud.
Oh, the silence.
You can't talk when you're not performing. When you're performing, then you talk. So
You know, I
I'll
wish-
be quiet when it comes to IPL.
But I warn you guys with that Lucknow Super Giants team. All the 4 overseas players are batsmen.
Yes, that is my contention with that
Yeah,
team. Also.
we're
You
top
can't
heavy.
have
We
a
already said
strictly-
this.
No,
What
it's not
sort
just
of
about
balance
top
is that?
heavy, but a strictly Indian bowling attack, to take away nothing from the Indian bowlers. A strictly Indian bowling attack, to me, is myopic. You need a bit of international flair in order to sometimes
You
get
need a
things
little
going.
mystery.
Yes.
There is not. It's so
Maybe next year.
predictable.
Next year,
Yeah, next
Timothy.
year's a good time. Next year's a
Timothy.
good time.
They can't depend on
Watch
Puran. Puran isn't scoring runs right now. And look. I mean, that hurt me. That I
hurts
so
us.
much pain seeing this right now.
Somebody get an Advil for him, please.
they need firepower in the bowling, and that was RCB's problem in the past.
Which we have corrected.
Look now is the RCB.
No, don't put us in that line. If we went 18 seasons without winning a single trophy, well, then we could see.
Okay.
But yeah, still in nothing, so we
18
basically
seasons.
we're on the same
We ju-
level.
Lucknow is new franchise. This is what, the third year?
Yeah.
It's new.
Anyways, this just goes to show that we have so much coming up. These guys are going to be on my case this week, you know. They're going to be on my case because my team is winning, my player is playing, amazing things are happening for me right now. And they're mad about that. Sean?
Yes, your player is playing and your team is winning for now.
No.
I like it, Sean. I like it. Sean to the rescue.
I'm now convinced, or mostly convinced, that your player will end as the leading run scorer. He's got 505 and Sai
504, I believe.
he's
But
got
Sean, you're a
just
wicked shot.
close to that.
You said Puran
Yes.
scoring the most run. Now you're switching sides.
No, I
just like to know
am
I didn't
realistic.
switch. I didn't switch,
Puran is
alright?
going through a bad patch and he will get up there, but not. I don't think he would get as much runs as Kohli.
So you're left me in the sauce now.
Yeah,
That's
sauce.
You
You
put
and my
yourself
man
in the
alone.
sauce.
All right, Sean.
I
like
still
that.
stand by my team and my player.
Alright.
Really bad.
And I still
Really bad.
expect Puran to have another 2 good innings.
All right.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. So guys, remember to stay tuned to HowZat. As I mentioned, we're filming at the beautiful Sea Rock Sports Bar. We have so much coming up on the other side of the break.
Power through anything with Pulse Energy Drink. Choose from mango, sugar-free, and original. Get charged with Pulse.
I in a mood right now. Said we ready. I can't worry about no way I can fix. I want some rum, I want some girls, I want some weed. I want party. Yo, kiss out there. I'm in a mood and I want turn up. You should talk how you're feeling. Pour some rum right now in my cup. I can see how you're feeling.
Well, welcome back to How's That? This is the second segment, and we've got lots of things to say. The under 19 was recently concluded with Borbies retaining their title, and we've got further down the guy who had the man of the series in that, Prameshwar Ram, and we've got a lot of things lined up for you.
Yeah, Sean, you mentioned that Barbies retained their title, and as I have read and probably as I have reported, they only retained that title on a technicality because that final game wasn't played. So, Sean, give us some context. What exactly
the
happened?
game was actually set for Police Ground. It was a 2020. It was a fifth over, and then they reduced to a third over when it had to go played on the lights at LBI. And so that game was truncated, but Borbies and Demerara played. Borbies won, and that's how it ended.
So a very anticlimactic
Yes.
finish.
I would say the same.
Finish.
And the rain plagued that tournament.
Yeah,
whole
it
lot.
was really rain
But
played.
I was wondering if the cricket board couldn't have made a provision for an extra day.
A reserve day.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, the children just had to go to school the next day. They already missed school a couple of days. Was one more.
Most of those guys are actually writing the CSEC examination.
Yeah, well,
And also the tournament was curtailed because of the issues around Guyana.
Yes.
So
Yes,
they couldn't play
definitely.
in those days
Right,
because
right.
they were scared for security reasons.
So we had to accept
Yeah.
accept that. But
Brandon is only saying this because Barbies won, you know.
uh,
He's being politically.
finally.
But Brandon, who was the standout performer for Borbies?
I think the Rampata brothers, they didn't live up to expectations.
Yeah, I mean those guys played at a much higher level than.
I think Rampata Ramnath played for Guyana senior team.
Yes, he did.
Yes,
right?
yes.
But I think Matthew Pattaya and Salim Khan, they're off spin again. They were in the wicket, so I'm impressed with those.
Yeah,
two
Salim
guys.
Khan had 9 wickets,
Right.
including back-to-back 4 wickets hauls in the first two
wonderful.
matches.
Salim Khan is a guy that I'm impressed with because he actually plays a lot of cricket. He comes down to the city and play for 4R, I think.
Yeah,
So it's good to see the youngsters leaving their comfort zone in Borbies.
because
Something
not enough cricket
is
is played in Borbies,
I
and,
accept.
and in Georgetown, where most of the cricket is being played, that's deteriorated now. It's
Yeah.
been reduced because not much cricket is being played in Georgetown.
in general, in Guyana, and that's
Yeah,
a problem.
We haven't had local cricket for the longest while.
It's a problem.
And we had days of billion sunshine where matches could have been
Yeah.
We
played.
need cricket at least every weekend. Saturday and Sunday, all the ground should be packed once there's weather.
And I'm hearing now that this May, June could be the hardest hit by rain in a
Yes.
long time.
I saw that.
So we're going to be
Washed
down and out.
Yeah.
On the regional side, guys, what's happening there?
Yes, of course, Guyana is in the Women's T20 Blaze tournament, thus far unbeaten.
Yeah.
Strong
They
start.
started last Thursday, I believe, against Leeward Islands women. They're playing, the entire tournament is being played at one ground in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Arnosville.
Tournaments can be played at one ground in Guyana, though. Yeah, so they played Leeward Islands women. First game, defeated them by 7 wickets with 10 balls remaining. Then they went on to play Windward Islands women, beat them by 7 wickets again, 6 balls remaining. That game was affected by rain quite a bit. And then their third game, they defeated, I think it was Barbados women,
Yeah, by 4 wickets.
by 4 wickets, 10 balls remaining. A lot of
And
Low
tonight
scoring
they've got to
contest.
play the last match on the lights. They play Trinidad and Tobago.
It's important for us to know that Guyana defeated a Barbados team
Yes.
without a Haley Matthews.
Yes.
Yeah, and the
And-
And the Andrew Dottie.
But this is a team, though. This is what they struggled against. This is a team they struggled against
Super
in
Field.
last year's tournament.
Yes, yes.
If I remember correctly. Was it Barbados? No, it was Jamaica that won. But they had problems against Barbados, who were also missing Haley Matthews last year. So I'm very happy to see that they've improved that. But now the test will, of course, be Trinidad.
And I'm
Jamaica.
very impressed with the Guyana bowlers, especially Sherian, because she's already played for West Indies.
Yes.
And the young bowlers, the off spinners, and of course the
The
veteran
legs.
off spinner, Millington.
Yeah. Guys, the breakout league. It's a
Could we
topic.
not talk about it?
I mean, Guyana won. That's something good. Let's clap.
Their first
After
game.
4 games.
Right?
The
After
first
4
game.
games. But it's a tournament that I feel the Guyana Guyana Rainforest Rangers should be dominating.
Yes.
Why? Because they have test players, they have experienced regional players. A team like Leeward Islands, they don't have a lot of recognized players. Look at the bowling lineup. Nathan Edward, yes, the exception of him. Kareem Avor, who is more known for his batting, played international cricket for USA. But when you look at it, the Guyana team,
But they've got good batters.
Mikhail
Mikhail
Louis at the
Louis.
top.
we have test opener,
Yeah.
Joel Andrews.
an international player.
Yeah.
But Guyana as a collective should be doing more.
And
after 4
those
games.
guys, apart from the Guyanese, well, most of the Guyanese, they play aggressive cricket. They are pugnacious.
Yeah.
Guyana plays like 4-day cricket, most of them, except,
Yeah, they have
except
the
Ali
same-
Mohammed.
They have look at the top order. So there's Rivaldo Clark, Adrian Sopwa, who missed out the 4th game.
Yes.
There's Kevlin Anderson, and then there's Zainul Ramsami. Look at that top 4. These players, none of them probably has a strike rate of 150 plus. In a
They're
time
not
like
known
this.
for power hitting. They're not known
Yeah.
for being aggressive.
So they have a long tail. You have the Samsons, the Ali Mohammeds, those guys coming in.
You
at the
miss a
back
name,
end.
Brandon.
Kimo Savory is there, but I don't know what his strike.
I would have rather Imlach play instead of
Say that
slavery.
again, say that
They
again.
do the same thing,
Yes.
but Imlach is more aggressive.
He's more of an accumulator.
Yeah.
If he can get boundaries,
He'll
Get
rotate his strength.
singles.
ones and twos.
Yes.
And that's okay if
And
Virat
those three
Kohli does that in T20
Yeah.
cricket. Right? I don't want to say that, but that's a fact.
Yeah.
Right? So that's something that's lacking. Anderson actually tried that in the fourth game, where he rotated the strike,
Yeah.
him and Kevin Sinclair for a moment. And the dot ball percentage in this tournament, Guyana has the best in terms
Yes.
of facing the least
Yeah.
amount of dot balls in an
But
inning.
still, they're not making the scores like the other teams.
And that's because of the finishing.
yeah.
But Ali Mohammed came to the rescue and
Yeah.
Samson to an extent
Yeah.
in the fourth game.
Yes.
So
I agree.
hopefully we can
They
see
can
some-
continue.
Guys, are you saying that they didn't take the right team, the right players to the
Correct is
tournament?
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would have put
Correct.
as an
Boldly.
opener Perez. I would have
Correct.
gotten
Yeah, Perez,
Van
oh.
Leeuwen.
Van Laan,
Yes.
Yeah, those are T20 players.
And I especially would have referenced in regard to Perez, the last innings he had in the 4-day championships in Trinidad. He played a very aggressive innings. I know it was a 4-day game, but he had the
That's
shots
the way he bats.
and he found the boundaries. And I felt like he would have been the perfect
Yes,
fit,
he plays his natural
especially in
game.
that opening position. I mean, Adrian Sokwa, he was good in that first
Yeah,
game.
but he
He
fell
came
over.
back from a slow start and he did what he needed to do. But him faltering in those next two games really costed, I mean, not him alone, but
Yeah.
it really costed Guyana because quick time, we didn't have an opening pair and we had to send in number 3, number 4.
Yeah.
And that could always
And
put the
what
team
that
in
does,
pressure.
it forces a batter like Anderson,
Mhm.
who plays correct shots,
Yes.
to go out of his comfort zone,
Correct.
try to up the tempo.
Yeah.
But Jemima, can I throw something your way?
I'm not
Catch
sure
it,
I could
catch it.
catch it,
I'm
but
gonna
throw
throw
it
it
same
your
way.
way.
If it,
And
You let
what
me
you guys
back.
let me throw it. Emphasis on the word throw. We didn't talk about Samson and the Shire.
and
Too much table, somebody said.
I called the cricket board to find out when I actually spoke to Sarwan.
yes,
And I asked him why, if Van Lang is going to go and replace him, because remember he was one of the
Yes.
standbys. And he said because of the state of the tournament and that Samson can still play as
yes,
a batter,
as a batter.
Van Lang would not, Van Lang would not be good. Because
that's
they don't got
unfortunate.
too much.
But let me throw this question out there. Why do regional umpires or people in Trinidad has to say, okay, this guy has an illegal action? Don't we have cameras in Guyana? Don't
No.
we have cricket being
Well,
played in
well,
Guyana?
well,
Don't we have match referees
Yes,
in Guyana
but
to
no.
recognize these things, Sean?
Maybe they
No,
see like
Brandon.
without my
I'm
glasses,
an
Brandon.
umpire also. So let me tell you that the umpires in Guyana, there was a certain guy that used to pelt, that still pelts. And he played at a high level.
Yes.
And the umpires were afraid to be the first one to call him. And
Politics.
once the umpire called him, all the other umpires would follow.
Yes.
But they don't want to be the first one.
But that is bad for our cricket.
Yes.
It is.
In our
It's
country
a,
as
it's a
well.
bad
And when
look.
they go to the regional tournament, now they're getting called.
Wow. So we will continue to see this trend if there's a bowler from Guyana with an illegal action. Nobody in
I
Guyana
hope
will call
not.
it.
Yeah.
I hope not. Too.
Because
very
I was a
worrying.
That's a
member
lot of
of
worry.
the disciplinary committee of the Ghana Cricket Umpires and Scorers Association. I had to resign because nothing was being done.
It's just yes men's on the board.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't say that. But that's the board of the umpires. But nothing was being done.
Okay, guys, updates further afield. The IPL is in full swing. Somebody's going to give y'all the points table. I can only say that RCB is at the top with 16 points. But there are people under them, as you would imagine.
Well,
You know.
there's a lot of cricket going on. So by the time this is, being aired, I would say Mumbai Indians will be in the top 4. Even if they lose a game or two, they actually won 7 games.
Brandon, you serious?
Right? So there's there's RCB, Mumbai Indians, Punjab Kings, and Gujarat Titans.
Yes.
Yeah. And
That-
Titans,
Yes.
all the other teams so far
Yes.
has played
More games.
more
than the
games
Titans.
than the Titans. The Titans, in fact, has played out of all the teams
Yeah.
the least.
But let's not forget KKR and Andre Russell scoring a half century and Sonny
How could we not mention
Right?
Andre Russell scored his
Yeah,
first
he
half
rolled back the
century
years.
Yeah.
of the tournament?
He said he felt like he was 27. Charlotte.
Yeah, that was a blistering knockout. So
Yeah, so let's not rule out that KKR has 3 more games to play, including one against RCB, who are due to lose one. So I would think, so there is a possibility that KKR can bounce back and qualify.
Does this qualify as
Let's
a
not
South?
rule out that. And we know Punjab Kings, they are not known for qualifying. I think it
Yeah.
was since 2014 they had more than 15 points in a league phase. So there are a lot of chokers in that top
And
four.
Wow,
Gujarat's
Brandon.
Titans are only 2 points below the leaders
Right.
at present.
Yeah, but there are a lot of chokers in the top 4. Let's not run away. I can RCB, a choker.
Chief choker.
Chief choker. Right? They're Gujarat Titans and they're Punjab Kings.
And Mumbai Indians.
No, not Mumbai.
Nah.
Mumbai won the most titles. Let's not forget that.
I wouldn't say that. Mumbai is
I want to have the
championship
confidence
pedigree.
of Brandon when I get older. That is the confidence I want to
I'm
take me
speaking the
through
fact.
life.
That's the fact.
You guys, of course, we want to shout out Edward B. Harry for sponsoring us with the Pulse energy drink. You see how much we're laughing and how lively we look?
Because of the
Pulse. That's why Brandon has all these,
Wild takes.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is it. That is exactly it. Of course, stay tuned. On the other side of the break, we have one of Guyana's most promising youngsters joining us for a discussion, Parmeshwar Ram, man of the series in the GCB Under-19 Inter-County tournament that concluded last week. So stay tuned to hear what Ram has to say.
Power through anything with Pulse Energy Drink. Choose from mango, sugar-free, and original. Get charged with Pulse.
I in a mood right now. Said we ready. I can't worry about no way I can fix. I want some rum, I want some girls, I want some weed. I want party. Yo, kiss hotel. I'm in a mood and I want turn up.
You should talk how you're feeling.
Pour some rum right now in my cup.
I can see how you're feeling.
Welcome back to How's That. On this segment, we speak with the talented young 15-year-old all-rounder, Parmeshwar Ram. He scored the most runs in the recent inter-county tournament, and he also got 7 wickets. He was named Man of the Series. Good night to you, Parmeshwar. How are you feeling tonight?
Feeling good, first time at the show. Looking forward to it more.
And when would you be 60?
July 26th.
So you've got this year on the 17 too?
Yes.
Okay, fine, good.
That's good for Guyana
Yeah.
cricket. Another all-rounder coming through the ranks.
Yeah, for
Right,
sure.
so
For
tell
sure.
us about your journey as a cricketer. Was cricket always your first love?
Yeah, that was my first love because at the age of 8, I went to the Metro Sport Club. Coach Maxwell was there, and I tell him I want to play the game, and he said, okay, fine. So from school, I used to go every day at the battlefield. I never gave up, he never gave up, and I successful today.
That's good. So playing at the recent Under-19 Inter-County for Demerara, it was a bit of a poor tournament for batsmen. But how would you describe conditions there and the playing surface and so forth?
The surface, the surface, ball keeping low, some spin, some bunks. The other batsmen like Rampata, Ramnath, I think they didn't get the big score, but I didn't please with my score at the end of the tournament, like overall score, 103. I thought that should have been one game score, but I got it.
One game score. I love the confidence these young men have, man. Wow, 103. But when you reflect on the tournament, that 103 runs that you scored probably carried the weight of a 203 because not a lot of batsmen actually scored big runs. Am I right, Sean?
Yeah, just one other batsman scored a half century, I think.
Right.
Just Sachin Balgobin, right?
Yeah.
So, tell me something. You've now played at the under 15 level, under 19. Is there any change in quality when it comes to facing bowlers and bowling to batsmen at the different age levels?
No, I will just apply the basic, like a bowler bowling quick, just keep eyes on the ball, find a gap, pick up single, bowl into a good batsman, just hit the right areas. Yeah.
Okay.
And you played both on the 15 and on the 17 for Guyana last year.
Yeah.
And had the most runs in the under 15.
Yeah.
All right, excellent. Timothy?
In terms of your batting, was there any pressure when wickets were falling around you? I know for me, if I'm batting and wickets falling, I'll get confused and I'll want to go and swing at the first ball I see. But for you, what was that like?
Yeah, when wicket was falling, the skipper Ramdial, he come out, he said, let me just bat through. Don't try to play no rush shot, just pick up the singles them, ball back and put it away, and we build a partnership for the team.
Timothy, when you say if you were batting, I couldn't picture that at all in my mind.
We'll have to ask the producer to work a magic out to see us.
What kind of question was that?
Timothy needs to bring his stats to the show.
I gotta bring my stats, yes.
You're a stats man.
Somebody help me find those stats. We gotta go back into the olden days.
But Parmeshwar, you're still pretty young right now. You're just 15, you're going to be 16 in a few months, and you're already playing at the under 19 level. Is that at any time intimidating for you or scary, knowing that you're playing against people who are well beyond you in years and probably in experience?
Yeah, it was my first year at the under 19 county level. I had a bit fear, but then I tell myself I was a good batsman and a good bowler, so don't worry about the names, just go out and play cricket.
I like what he said there. That's how you play cricket. You don't look at the names on the paper and say, okay, Rampatap, Ramnath, and body. It's not like that.
Yeah. And what do you like to do more, bowl or bat?
I like batting more.
You like batting more?
And what do you prefer? And this is the question I always ask all the young players coming through the ranks. Do you prefer red ball or white ball cricket?
I prefer red ball cricket, because I as a batsman, I like spend time at the crease, patient, and I love to bowl the red ball too.
But you're still fairly young in your career. What are some of the challenges you face in red ball cricket compared to white ball cricket?
Well, the red ball, most of my runs score in the red ball, but the white ball, I didn't really get no big score in the white ball. That's the only thing.
Do you bat differently in a one-day game as opposed to a red ball game?
Yeah, because red ball, 2 day, 3 day, more time at the crease, but the white ball now, like 1 day, look to score a little more aggressive.
All right, Parmeshwar. Last week we had Riaz Latif and we asked him pretty much the same thing I'm going to ask you, right? Of course, as youngsters, any love of cricket, they always have these players that they would admire or a special player. Who was that player for you growing up and still is at this point?
Travis Head, the way he go batting, positive mindset, look to score runs, yeah.
All right, and he's a left-hander just like you.
Yeah,
so do you pattern his style of batting?
Yeah.
So when you get 100, right, you would take your bat, put it up like this, and then put your helmet on top.
Were you always a cricketer? Did you play any other sports at school?
No, just cricket.
Natural cricket. He looks like a natural cricketer. He's got a tender age and he's a bit muscular.
Yeah, most of the youngsters these days are, So, you've already played at the intercounty level, you played for Guyana, but should you receive a call-up to represent West Indies at, one of the youth levels, how ready are you to take on that challenge?
Yeah, I'm ready, Every day I go out at the Metamezagang, work on my fitness, my batting, my bowling, and I'm ready for that call up for the West Indies team someday.
But in order for that to happen, you've got to be consistent in the regional under 19 first. You don't get called up just like that. You've got to make runs and get some wickets because you're primarily a batter. So you got to make runs consistently. Not every match you got to make a big score, but you got to do it consistently. And then you will make the West Indies team. And if you do that, and you don't get picked, then I will write for you. But if you don't make runs, I have nothing to write about. So it's up to you.
It's up to you. But before we go to our next segment, I know there's always areas of improvements. You know, you recently finished the under 19 tournament. What are some of the things you have to work on moving forward in your game?
Yeah, for batting, the spinners they just always trouble me. So when I go back to Metro Export Club there, John Maxwell, I have to tell him I have to work on that part here.
You said spinners trouble you. So you're a left-hander, and let's say an off spinner, somebody like Sean bowling at you, right? I think Sean used to turn the ball just a bit. So if the ball moves away from you, how is that a challenge for you? Do you prefer the ball coming into you like most left-handers, or is it more challenging when the ball turns away from you?
Bit more challenging when it turns away. Yeah.
And how do you, let's say, combat a guy using Sean again? 6 balls on the spot, turning away from you, and you got to score. What's your go-to shot in a situation like that?
So like you have covering, and if you pitch it up outside half, I will just go over cover head. Yeah.
If I'm bowling to him, I wouldn't bowl 6 balls turning away. I'd bowl a ball and I put his off stump.
You can organize a one-on-one between the two.
No, I pass my
Make sure
time.
the cameras are... No, Sean, you can't defend yourself like that. Make sure the cameras are there. So, Parmeshwar, we still have the regional on the 17 and on the 19 tournaments to come this year. What are your goals for those tournaments should you be picked for Guyana?
Yeah, for the under 17 regional, I just want to go there, make most of the opportunity, try to come out most runs at the regional level. Because on the 15 I didn't get that. I come back most runs for Guyana, but not in the whole tournament. So that is my goal here.
I want to go big, Sean.
Yeah.
Go big. Go
Make
big.
a statement on the regional stage.
And that's the way it should be. I don't like players talking about, oh, we need to do this in our batting, we need to be more fearless, we need to do this, and they're not doing it. Rings a bell, Sean?
Yeah.
All right, that's very recent. That's not called name.
Well, this is all we have for on this segment. On behalf of all the people here who've asked the young man some hard questions, and he's very talented, and we wish him all the best in the under 19 tournament. So this is the end of the segment. On the other segment, we'll talk about women's cricket.
I in a mood right now. Said we ready. I can't worry about no way I can fix. I want some rum, I want some girls, I want some weed. I want party. Yo, kiss what we tell I'm in a mood and I want turn up.
You should talk how you're feeling.
Pour some rum right now in my cup.
I can see how you're feeling.
Power through anything with Pulse Energy Drink. Choose from mango, sugar-free, and original. Get charged with Pulse.
Good evening and welcome back to HowZat. And we have another special guest on this segment. It's not one guest, we had one, and now we have another. And today we're going to talk some women's T15 cricket with Miss Andrews. How are you feeling today?
I feel nervous,
You
but
feel
I'm
nervous?
ready.
All right.
Well, it's something we're lacking in Guyana's cricket, and that is consistently organized women's tournament. How did this initiative came about? And tell us all about it.
So for a few years now, I actually had a plan for something, but I had no way to execute it. I don't know what it originally was. And then November of last year, it just came to me. I was like, okay, I've been to Guyana 2022. I've been around the ladies. Let me do something that allows them to have more games during the year. So that's how this idea originally came about.
And for those who are not aware, the only organized women's tournament in Guyana is the inter-county tournaments. And that happens once a year.
Yeah.
And there is no way a Guyana women's team can win a tournament if you play one tournament a year.
Brandon, I go so far as to say 1 week a year.
One
When
year.
you say once a year, it
Yeah,
makes
yeah,
it seem like this
That's a
tournament
big,
is
long
organized.
tournament.
You know,
Yeah.
3 weeks a month. But
Say 4 days for the year.
4
yeah,
days.
there we go.
That's
4
not
days.
good.
That's much better.
That's not
much
good.
better.
So originally you're from Trinidad, and I am aware that Trinidad women's structure is way better than Guyana's.
Of course.
Yes, of course.
Right?
Yes.
Let's give Jack his
Women's
Jack.
leagues.
Yeah.
There are a lot of other Guyanese playing over there.
Right.
Women.
Actually, if you watch the breakout league that is playing right now, you would have seen some of the women's team
Oh, yes.
from the women's league.
Right.
They were in the stands
Yeah.
watching the
Watch
men's
them.
games.
Watch them.
So if they're playing right now consistently, because the breakout league has been playing for about 2 weeks now,
Yeah.
and you've
Yeah.
been seeing them consistently in the stands with their clothes on,
Watch them.
then that goes to show what's going on in
I will
Trinidad.
hope that they have their clothes on.
Their team uniforms on, Sean.
All right.
And what's your cricketing background?
Yeah.
I started playing at the age of 14. I was scouted, I would say, by a guy named Ginger. I went for football actually because I wasn't a cricketer, but football was closed off. Cricket was the next best option. And the first day he saw me, he was like, I'm going to take you to the under 17 national training. And that's how it all started for me.
So you're very multi-talented.
Yes.
So were you an off spinner like Sean or
Medium pacer.
oh medium pacer like Timothy? Timothy.
Slow medium. Not medium.
Timothy felt so good.
Slow medium.
So why a T15 instead of a T20 or a 4-2?
So I wanted it to be a T20 this year. But what we plan to do is every year we change the format. The T15 came about when this is the first year we're doing it.
Yes.
So we're going to make mistakes. We have to learn from it. So a shorter format so we can actually get a chance to understand what we need to do in the following years.
Interesting.
Okay, and you know, how did you go about getting the teams? Or actually, who are some of the players that are going to be involved? Who are some of the teams, and how did you go about recruiting them per se?
So what we're doing is we're going to all 3 counties, Essequibo, Berbice, and Demerara, and we're going to have screening sessions. So, like how you all mentioned about inter-county, we are going to go from this month, May, all the way till August when the tournament is. We will have training sessions for the players. So we look at their development, we help them raise their level as well. So everyone gets a fair chance, not because your name is X, Y, and Z, you're going to get on the team.
There we go. There we go.
I love that one. I love that one.
I like
That's
that.
excellent because we've had cases of that. I'm not going to speak about it, but yes.
Cool.
I like the fact that you're doing this screening process. That means that the quality should be good.
Yes.
And where are some of the venues, or what are some of the venues that you're going to use, and what can fans expect?
So we will be having the tournament at the LBI ground on the East Coast. That ground was given to us by the cricket board. And we want to have an away game in Berbice because all the games are always played in Demerara, as we know. So if you have family or friends who aren't able to come to Georgetown, we bring it to you.
Wow.
And every year we would take it to a different county.
That's nice.
But what was the relationship or the response from the Guyana Cricket Board when you proposed this T15 tournament to them?
They had no objection. The only thing that kind of threw me off was in the meeting was like, I wish we could do something like this for the females. It's your job.
Cricket board.
Oh, boy.
My goodness. Well, they shouldn't have any objections because we spoke about it. 4 days of cricket for the women, and that is
And
not
the
enough.
only time women get to play cricket in Guyana is when they play with the males in second division or the West Indies players play in fourth division.
That is something I noticed when I first came.
Yeah.
Because back home, we have like 14 teams, sometimes
Yeah.
20.
Wow.
And we play It used to be 2 games a week. So Wednesday nights we would have T20, and on the weekend we would have 50 over. We have 2 divisions, championship and premiership. So it spans for a few months. So that gives all the players more time to train. You have more coaching staff. You get more time to actually view the players' development.
All right.
And would this be an annual tournament?
Most definitely.
And would you think of bringing in one of the teams from Trinidad?
Actually, what we're doing is, the team we're forming in Guyana, well, we have someone else who wants to create his own team as well, but we are bringing teams from different countries.
Okay, that's
So we already
great.
have one confirmed team from Trinidad. We're speaking with the Barbados Cricket Association as well. And a few days ago, I spoke with the manager of the Windward Islands team.
All right. You seem to have your head on where, you know, administration is on and where you think things need to be done better. And you've been in Trinidad, you've experienced it as a player. Now we're here in Guyana in an administrative role. What are some of the things that you think could be implemented at a grassroots level, school level, and coming up to encourage and foster consistent women's cricket in Guyana?
Okay, I think one of the first things we need to do is form clubs or some sort of academy where the players can come out and start from young. Because a lot of players don't understand that this is actually a career. You may not be a player, you can be a coach, you can be an analyst, you can be whatever you want to be. So start from grassroots, not just teach them on the field but off the field, because I believe 90% of cricket is played off the field. You go out there and you execute. So more training, of course. Just have the women feel accepted. Because when you're playing with the male, yes, it boosts you more because you can, for example, do you play cricket? Have you ever played?
I played in school.
Okay, so let's say she was a top class cricketer, right? And I am playing with the men, I'm training with them. It would help me to fix myself to play against someone like her. So now it's easy for me. So have more stuff put in place for the females where they work with each other.
I think this T15 tournament, it will actually inspire young girls. And in Guyana, perhaps, there's this, everyone is thinking that, okay, if you play cricket, you can't make a living as a woman or as a young girl. But that's not actually true, because West Indies players are contracted. Guyanese players who plays for the West Indies are contracted. Women's cricketers. Shimeen Campbell is contracted with the West Indies. And she makes a living. Right?
Everyone who plays for Guyana.
Right. So it's not that, okay, you're not getting anything. So this tournament should and will perhaps inspire young girls to play this cricket seriously and make a living.
And they got more women's leagues also around the world.
That's
so if you're good
establishing.
enough, like Haley Matthews and Dottin and Stephanie, those girls can make a big living. And if you're as good as them or get as good as them, you got to start from the longest journey starts with the first step. So you've got to go and try. And another thing, parents are not so keen to send girls into sports. Is that the same thing in Trinidad?
It was that way for me. I was in the sport, my mother supported it, but she didn't support it at the same time. But because you love it, you have this talent, people see the potential you have, she allowed it.
And I put you on the hot seat here. In St. Vincent, the T20 Blaze is presently going on. Why do you think the girls are not making big scores?
Because nothing is done with their batting.
Oh, there we go.
It's that simple.
If we put the focus on Guyana, we know Guyana is very strong with their bowling. So because you are strong in one area, you think, okay, this is gonna save me forever. You have to work on every aspect of the game. It's like being an all-rounder. If you fall short with your bowling, you make up with your batting. So you need to be balanced, basically.
I didn't know much about you, but now, after a couple of minutes, I
Sean is planning a
realize
story.
you're very knowledgeable about cricket.
Sean want to put in chronicle. I know.
One last thing though I want to ask you, because you mentioned the screening and you mentioned the importance of giving young girls a platform. Let's say when you go out to your screenings, you spot a 14-year-old, a 15-year-old. that is extremely talented and has the potential. Will they be able to play this tournament?
Yes, they would, because one thing I am very strong about is, despite whatever team we select, I want there to be an under 19 player on the team. So we would have other under 19 players, but if we see, okay, you went from a 5 to a 6, we would put you there so you gain the experience with the other players. So despite your age, you come out, because the objective is to make sure by the time you reach the age of other players, you are at their level.
All right, before we go, tell us again to the fans, let them know what to expect. So we know this tournament is in August.
Yes.
All right, so tell the fans what to expect from this tournament.
So from August 9th to the 16th, we will be having this Women's T15 cricket tournament. We'll actually be having a dinner for all the players and the sponsors on the 8th. And one thing you can look forward to is exciting cricket, new faces, the players who you know already. Be sure to experience something better from them. It's basically bringing regional cricket to Guyana with new faces.
Wonderful. It was great. It was great talking to you, Miss Andrews, and I am looking forward for the first time for a local women's tournament in Guyana. Like I can feel some sort of vibe, something good building here. So guys, we're filming live from Guyana at beautiful Sea Rock Sports Bar, and we must say thank you to Edward B. Bihari for sponsoring us once again with the Pulse Energy Drink.
Power through anything with Pulse Energy Drink. Choose from mango, sugar-free, and original. Get charged with Pulse.
I in a mood right now. Said we ready. I can't worry about no way I can fix. I want some rum, I want some girls, I want some weed. I want party. Yo, kiss me with it. I'm in a mood and I want turn up.
You should talk how you're feeling.
Pour some rum right now in my cup.
I can see how you're feeling.
Welcome back, guys. This is HowZat Guyana's weekly cricket TV talk show, and we're getting into the more exciting segments right now. We're going to have our player of the week. We're going to go around the table. Everybody's going to pick their 3 most outstanding players, local, regional, and international, and then we're going to come to a consensus at the end. I'm going to start off because I got word that Michelangelo is about to pope my player. So let me just go right off the bat. Well, technically it works for both local and regional, but the first name I want to call is Nia Lachman. She has been absolutely outstanding in the bowling for Guyana's women in the ongoing T20 Blaze tournament. 3 games, 6 wickets. Of course, she picked up a 4 for, I think it was in the second game of the tournament against the Windward Islands women. So Nia Lachman is my pick. Another player that picked up a 4 for over the weekend that is going to be in my player of the week is Riyad Latif. Of course, he's playing the West Indies Breakout League. He didn't pick up any wickets in the first 2 games, but he came back with a mission in the 3rd game. It was the 3rd game? No, that's their 4th game. Came back with a mission in their 4th game, picked up 4 for 25, I believe, from 4 overs. So those are my 2 local, regional picks, however y'all want to call it. Y'all know who's my international pick. I don't even have to discuss this right now. Orange cap in the IPL. 505 runs, leading the charts when people said that, somebody would make more runs than him. That person actually has 100 runs less than my player. I'm not calling names. They know what we're talking about.
750s,
Brandon?
11 innings.
There we go, 750s in 11 innings.
Why are you doing this to
Brandon.
me, Puran?
Brandon has a bet.
Puran, you're making me look bad out here. My players of the week. Jemima, I want to say...
Wait, pause. Joshua De Silva make any runs this weekend, guys?
No. I'm not going there. I'm not going there.
I'm not going there.
I just gotta
make sure.
Romario Shepherd.
Oh, wait.
Romario Shepherd has
How
to
did
be
you
my
forget
player.
that?
How could I forget?
Not because he's playing for RCB, but because he scored the second fastest 50 and he's a Guyanese. And these things, they inspire other Guyanese.
Yeah.
And I'm actually proud. But Romario, you need to work on that bowling. The economy rate is a bit high, but kudos to you. 50 from 14 balls. My other player of the week, it has to be Riyad Latif. 4 wickets. He actually went wicketless in the first 3 games. So it was good to see the youngster playing his 40-20 professional game and picking up 4 wickets. And my third player of the week, I have to go with Haley Matthews. She's not in the regional women's tournament in St. Vincent.
As she should not be. That would be advantage.
But she's playing with the male cricketers in Barbados in a 3-day competition. And she scored a half century and she picked up 2 wickets playing with the boys. So Haley, continue to do your thing. Your 3 players of the week.
On the spot. Did not prepare for this, but I did get a chance to see Haley's performance for the guys.
Yeah.
So I will just keep it at 1 this week. So yeah.
Haley.
Haley.
Yeah, well, my 3 players would be Shepherd for that blistering knock. And I would pick Anderson and Latif for the regional. Yeah, because Anderson has 2 half centuries, even though I think he's supposed to bat him deep. And when he gets the half century, he usually gets out. But he needs to step on the gas. And Latif, he's only 17. And he looked very mature in the 4-wicket haul he got. And for local, I'd have that same youngster, Parmeshwar Ram.
All right, Timothy, you going next, or?
Yeah, man, I'll go next. I think I'm going to keep
Leave
it
the best
pretty.
for last.
You got the alien in this list. I could feel
I'm
it.
going to keep it very simple this week. For me, Romario Shepherd, not an RCB fan, but love that innings that he played. Not an RCB
You
fan.
don't say that every time, guys.
But that half century was wonderful to watch. Riyad Latif for his 4 for 25. From the first game I saw him bowl, I was like, I love this youngster's action. I hope that he gets wickets in the tournament. Picked up 4 for 25. That was nice. And the final choice to me would be Nathan Edwards. He's playing for the Leeward Islands. He actually picked up 5 for 27. So that was really nice to see. I've seen him play. He's played CPL, and I think he has played a few games in the Bangladesh Premier League or some league that nobody really aside from IPL and but I've always liked the way he bowls and how he moves the ball, so I'm really glad for him.
So that's it. All right. So guys, this week, right? I'm gonna start with my female player, Naya Lachman. She didn't bowl in the first game, right?
Yeah, she didn't play
She
the
didn't
first game.
play in the first game, but the 2 games that she came in, she picked up a 4-4 and a 2-4 most recently. So I really admire her because she's young. She's now developing her craft. Exactly, and that's not an easy task to do on a cricket pitch. So Lachman gets my nod for the female, and regionally the men, right? I had picked out Ronaldo Ali Mohammed to really make an impact in this breakout league, but the first 3 games for him were very underwhelming, with bat and ball. He was dropped. So he made his return against the Leeward Islands, I think it was. And Guyana got to 185. And the reason for them getting there is largely because of Ali Mohammed's 40 off of 20 deliveries. He went in there, he hit the ball, he took them to, a strong target. And so he gets my pick. And for the third one, that's a bit of a challenge. But I have to go with Shanetta Grimond. Shanetta Grimond has been Guyana's most consistent player with bat and ball at times.
Especially ball, I believe.
With ball, I mix it up. With ball and bat at times. So Shanetta Grimond gets my third pick of the week.
I thought you would have said Kevin Sinclair because I was waiting
He was
to show the
No. Kevin Sinclair would have gotten the nod, right?
Why?
All right, because he played a key part in Guyana's victory.
No,
I'm talking. All right, guys, listen. Let me explain, right? Let me explain.
explain.
Good.
Explain this.
When Kevin Sinclair came into bat, Guyana was just casually limping along. And then he took the attack. I can't remember which bowler, but he hit him for a couple of sixes and a four. And that really sparked things. And, well, Kevlon was anchoring the innings, but I believe that Kevin's innings was very much needed. It set the
you
tone
can't
for the
even
rest.
remember the bowler he hit the sixes because that was the level of cricket that was being played there. Kevin Sinclair is a test player.
Yeah.
A test player that should be dominating a breakout T20.
He should. I agree.
Yeah,
No, I agree. I'm not saying that.
And his
I'm not saying that, but I'm speaking
much better.
I'm speaking specifically about that
He's
game
gotten one wicket
and the way he
in the first
impacted
match,
that game.
and he got a wicket.
A 30-something could never qualify a man to make player of the week. A man like Kevin Sinclair.
That's why I didn't pick him in there.
No, you can't think about that. You
Remember
can't
the
even think
wicket
about
he
his
got
name.
in the match? The umpires was almost checking to see if it was above the waist. It was a high full toss.
Yeah. Well, we all do get wickets with us sometimes. I'm pretty sure you got wickets with
Test
full
cricket. or you're a test player.
So why are you jumping down on me and I didn't pick Kevin?
No, because we hear Kevin come out your mouth and then you swallow it back.
All right, guys.
And all these players from Guyana have another chance from 2 o'clock today.
Yeah, they do.
Against Barbados.
Yeah, that's the last league
league
match of the breakout league.
Kevin Sinclair is supposed to have the most runs and the most wickets. He's supposed to be playing a role like Navin Bideshi from Trinidad, Sean. The guy won 2 player of the match. He has runs and wickets.
But he still has time to recover.
All right.
He has that last league match, and then providing that Guyana
qualify for the
defeated
playoff.
Barbados Pelicans, then he has the playoff match. Because obviously Guyana is not going to qualify in the first place. Trinidad is leaps and bounds ahead
Trinidad
of
is
every
already
other
qualified.
team in
The only team that has
So
qualified.
they still have that league match, and then they have the final for him to make up. So he could win at least 3 player the match, Brandon.
But if Guyana lose today,
Yeah, we know. They'll be home. They'll be home on Thursday. They'll be home on Thursday.
All right, so do we have a consensus?
We have a consensus, but at this point, 2 things I want to do. One, I want us to note Brandon's statement that Tortonine could never qualify a man for player of the week. Because going forward, I don't want to hear Joshua
De Silva
and Jason Mohammed qualifying for player of the week with these scores. Nadia, you agree with me?
I agree with you.
Thank you very much.
And my favorite player in the IPL is Nicholas Puran. But I would concede that he's on 9th now, but he still got the most sixes.
Masha, you grasping at straws.
No, it's a stat. Timothy, isn't it a stat?
Yeah, but
But what?
My thing is that Sean is grasping at 39s. If we
I also want to rescind my international play of the week. I'm going to put forth Romario Shepherd because in
you guys are no boards.
Considering no boards indeed. In considering, the amazing things that Virat Kohli is doing right now at 37 in a league with people as young as 14, it is difficult for a lot of people. I mean, Rohit Sharma only has about 3.5 centuries.
So
Kohli has 7.
So
because they're about the same.
Last week we
They're
didn't
about
have
the
to
same
endure
age or the
these
same
types of
level.
things.
when
I'm saying this to say that although Virat Kohli is good, Romario Shepherd was better.
But
and I'm going to
put it out
no.
Rohit
It's not a
Sharma has
conversation about Rohit.
championships. You understand?
Yeah.
Kohli has none in the IPL.
Rohit Sharma has championships because he played with a lot of, star players. We were robbed in 2016. That was a robbery. Let's not talk about it. Anyways, guys, so the consensus obviously is that Romario Shepherd is our player of the week. 53 off 14 balls is mad.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy.
Came in the
The
17th
second
over
fast.
and made a 50.
The second fastest IPL half century in history. Of course, that record is being held right now by Shavi Jaiswal. I think it was his first year in the IPL. He scored 50 off 13 balls. So Shepherd, we could do a thing with 12 or 11 balls
like
this week.
Christopher Gale playing all these tournaments, and he's never gotten a faster 100 than that.
That's correct.
A
So
faster 50.
can't wait to see what more Shepherd does in the IPL as he helps to take RCB to their first championship. We're going to take a break right now, guys. And then when we get back, it's time for the money segment. We're going to talk a little bit about dollars. Stay with us.
The future of Guyana cricket is here. Are you ready to catch every thrilling moment? Never miss a game, news, information, interviews, and more. Guyana Cricket will now be live and exclusive on the Guyana TV network. Experience the heart-pounding excitement from anywhere in the world. Catch every second, every ball, every wicket that drops on GCB TV, the channel on the Guyana TV network app. Watching Guyana Cricket has never been this exciting. The Guyana Cricket Board has its own Cricket TV channel where you can watch all games live, get all your Guyana Cricket news and updates, watch replays of games, access exclusive interviews and in-depth information, stay connected, stay informed, never miss a game. Watch it all free on the Guyana TV network app. The future of Guyana Cricket is here. Live and exclusive on the Guyana Cricket Board's own TV channel, GCB TV. Catch all the games worldwide on GCB TV on the Guyana TV network app. Don't miss out. Download the app now and be part of the action.
Power through anything with Pulse Energy Drink. Choose from mango, sugar-free, and original. Get charged with Pulse.
Welcome to Hibiscus Restaurant, Sports Bar, and Nightclub. We offer fine dining, a sports bar, dancing, and special events. Come and enjoy a great Caribbean meal or sit and enjoy the games. Watch for our upcoming special events and live shows. Hibiscus, where you can have a wonderful time with family and friends. We are located at 8344 West Oakland Park Boulevard, Sunrise, Florida. Come out today and enjoy our wonderful atmosphere. Hibiscus Restaurant, Sports Bar, and Nightclub. We are your entertainment center in Sunrise, Florida.
Alright guys, welcome back. And now we're here for the money segment. I love the money segment. My co-host love the money segment. I'm wearing green, representative of money, but I can't win the money. You guys, the fans, are the ones that are gonna win the money. But sadly, last week, no one was able to win this prize. And I asked the producer if we can get the prize, but she said no. So I'm gonna ask Brandon to read the questions from last week, and you guys will let us know if these questions were hard. Brandon?
I would have won the 20,000 easy. But let me go with the first question. In cricket's early days, the wicket had only 2 stumps. What unusual event caused the introduction of a 3rd stump?
Could I answer the question?
Let me just give the answer. So the original cricket wickets used only 2 stumps over which a bail was attached. This design was changed in 1775 after an English cricketer, Lumpy Stevens, who was able to bowl 3 consecutive balls that shot clear between the stumps. This is why modern wickets have 3 stumps instead of 2.
Yeah, my answer would have been that nobody outed.
Exactly. There would have been so much conflict.
But, Brandon, even with 3 stumps, we've seen on occasion balls go through and no bails.
And to me, I think sometimes the bails are heavy.
Yeah.
But the bails don't.
Even if the ball hits the stump and bails don't fall, you're not out.
Yeah. All right, the second question. This nickname was earned by this bowler who became the first to officially break the 100 miles per hour barrier during the 2003 Cricket World Cup. The nickname, the Rawalpindi Express, and that was Shoaib Akhtar.
Easy.
And that was before the technology was used, because people like Jeff Thompson bowled faster than him.
Yes. The final question, another easy one. Which cricketer is famously known for having the most on-field rituals and superstitions during a match, from tapping the crease to adjusting his gear multiple times before every ball?
I can see how this question was a problem.
Yes.
We got a couple of cricketers like that.
I would have said. Anyways,
Sachin.
the answer is Neil Mackenzie from South Africa. But a lot of people would have said
Smudge.
Shiv.
Exactly.
I would have said Smudge. I would have said
Shiv Narayan Chandra.
Yeah, from the tapping and adjusting before every ball.
Yeah. So it's Neil Mackenzie, guys, from South Africa. So hopefully next week we can have a winner.
Come on, guys. You have to try hard for these questions. It's literally 6,000 $666.66 per question.
Oh, Timothy.
When you add it up, it's 20,000. I like to do the math when it comes to money. So, cricket fans, try hard. We gotta know if we can give a second answer if you get it wrong, but try your best. And guys, we're gonna go into some questions here. I've had a look of the questions, and the first question for me describes Nicholas Puran, but nevertheless,
Hey, Jesus.
just because Michelangelo is here. And this question is from Suraj Balgobin, and it says, is it fair to hype up teenagers in professional cricket after just one big performance? Look at Vaibhav Suryavanshi's story. Just days after setting the cricket world ablaze with a breathtaking century, he is now experiencing a dry patch with his bat.
A dry patch is not 2 games.
No.
I mean, the thing is, and the answer is right in the question. A teenager is competing against 30-something-year-olds. Is competing against bowlers who probably got children his age, and he's sending them all parts of the park. Why can't we praise this?
No, not praise. The person has hype up.
Too much. But
Yeah.
I mean, 100 is 100.
Yeah,
If we can make 100 off 100,
I know
it's
Sean
balls.
disagree. 100 is not
I
100,
mean,
right?
Michelangelo was just hyping up Tour de Nine.
Tour de Nine, exactly.
But against
100 is 100 against anyone.
Mhm.
But
Except at
I would
MM0.
not hype up someone for just a solitary performance.
yes, no, indeed, I agree with Sean because listen, it's not
Somebody
only
buys 14.
yeah, no, it's all right.
But Joel
It's
Andrews
all right.
is playing
Exactly.
one-day internationals already,
So-
and he's
17.
17.
All right, so
Yeah, Michelangelo,
Look
go
at it,
ahead,
right?
go ahead.
I wouldn't only limit it to teenagers. I'm talking about hype, not getting excited and praising them. Hype is something totally different from that.
Yeah.
And let's just look at Shamar Joseph. Shamar is still pretty young. After those performances in Australia, people hyped him up. The next,
And that was mainly because
can't take this
of the
conversation.
West
you can't take it seriously. Wait, man.
Mainly
Wait.
because the West Indies had not beaten
Exactly.
Australia in
So-
27 years. That
There
is
are
why.
people that praise his performances, right? And then there are people that are hyping him up and they
Yes.
want him to play every single thing that he could play for West
That is
Indies,
true.
right? So you cannot do the same for Vaibhav.
But this is a teenager.
Yes, I know. I
Shamar
understand
Joseph
that.
is a grown
It's
adult
once in a lifetime
with a wife
talent,
and
right?
children.
I understand that, but don't hype up the young man, and then when he goes through rough patches, you
Those
tend to
same
forget
people
about it.
who hype
I'm
him
not
up
happy
will call
because
him
I
them.
really don't like Rajasthan.
In everything that we do. Miss Andrews, what is your take on this?
My take is sometimes it's too much for them.
Yeah.
So yes, they go through it. He scored 100, but with all the pressure he's feeling, it could be positive or negative. So he's going out there with the expectation of I have to do what I did in the last game, even though we
Yeah.
know consistency is key, but it isn't always going to play in your favor. Some of the best batsmen we know make up.
Yeah.
And I
It's how
agree
you
with
bounce
you. The
back from it.
expectations
Yeah.
is very high. After you're 14 and you make a brilliant 100, not just a ordinary 100.
And it comes back to the world we live in today, the media. This guy, when he finished that 100, I think his Instagram followers
Yeah.
was a
Trend
thousand.
topic, yes.
So it went really high.
Spiked.
So he's actually feeling good about it, and at the same time he's pressured.
Sure.
Yeah.
But let's move on to the second questions. I'm
Yeah.
going to pick on Miss Andrews a bit because she's here.
Yes.
And this question is from Victor Reed, and he says, considering all the low scores at youth level cricket, how worried should we be about the future of West Indies cricket and or the future of Guyanese youngsters being selected for the West Indies senior team?
It's a worry when you don't push them to where they're supposed to be. So yes, they're making low scores, but what are we doing to ensure that they can boost their game?
What are we doing, Sean?
Yeah, I totally agree with Miss Andrews. Miss Andrews, you're really knowledgeable.
Would you like to work at the Guyana Cricket Board?
No, don't work at the Ghana Cricket.
Don't work there?
That'd be a bad job. Anyhow, yes, I agree. You have to put developmental systems in place to make these batters score higher. Or the new trend of the new generation, you got to do different things. You can't do the same things all the time and expect different results. That's insanity.
Yes, that's the
Maybe-
very definition of
Maybe the
insanity.
problem is when they score low, no one pushes them. So that is accepted. So whether you make a low score or not, you know, okay, I'm gonna make it for whatever team.
And you've got to get better coaches.
Right.
The best coaches, to my mind, needs to be at the youth level.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I think Sean, we had a conversation earlier. I'm going to dong on myself a bit because it ties into what Miss Andrews is saying. We had a conversation earlier about the women's tournament where Guyana had to make 60-something to win. They struggled to make the 60-something, but they won. And I was telling Sean, but they still win. And I think this is a part of the mindset why it's difficult to push players to score better, because y'all struggle to make 60-something, but you still win. And then there are people like me out here who are saying, well, you still win, and you're praising them. A win is a win, but you aren't batting well enough. And I think that's a part of the problem, because, I mean, we can't say what's going on in the management of the teams, but all right, y'all make 60-something, you still win, you go back in the dressing room, and the coach says, well, y'all win, so good job, guys. But the coach doesn't say, hey, y'all didn't bat well enough. We should have only had 2 or 3 batters making that 60-something runs rather than 6 or 7 batters.
We need to stop accepting that culture of being mediocre performances, right? So even again with Kevin Sinclair scoring that sort in the breakout room, I am not accepting that because he's a test player and he needs to score 50s and win games.
But Brandon, we have test players in the team that couldn't even make 3 extra runs for them to win.
Well, let's move on to the next question. And this one is from Nicholas Sahai. What do you think of the squad for the West Indies ODI tours of Ireland and England?
I think y'all left out the best batsman.
I think no surprises there.
I think
who was the best batsman?
The best batsman was dropped, and I would like to know
who
why.
was the best batsman?
The best batsman was left out of the squad.
Who is the best batsman? I hope it's not the guy that didn't make a single run in his last 2 innings. And he is a prime example of don't
please
making
viewers
and
know
who is this best batsman that you speak of?
Man, anyways,
What's his number? What's his number? What's his t-shirt number?
I think the guy had made I think it was 180 something odd in a youth cricket game sometime
decades
ago, and you know that is the thing. But
and he was the only West Indies captain to win a World Cup.
Shy, get a little specific.
That was since 2016 though.
Yes, it was 2016. West Indies' golden year.
All right.
But I like the Guyanese picks. I think any team that West Indies picks right now, Sherfin Rutherford has a definite spot in that team, and go to Keshmoti.
Yeah.
Romario Shepherd, yes, another definite spot. Shamar Joseph, I want to be careful of how I'm going to choose my words. I think Shamar Joseph hasn't been consistent as of late, as compared to the way he broke onto the scene.
For sure.
Yeah.
Same thing.
For sure.
But I think one of the things that we have to consider also is that he has been struggling with injuries.
Right.
So that could lend to, what has been going on with him. But what I have noticed is that Darren Sammy clearly sees something in Shamar Joseph that he could hone from his skills. So I have no problem with the 4 Guyanese picks. I actually have no problem with the team.
It is a
good squad.
And let me tell you the team if you haven't heard
it.
Shai Hope, captain. Joel Andrews, that's one of my favorite youngsters.
Yes.
Yeah. Casey Carty, Ruston Chase, Matthew Ford, Justin Grieve, Amir Django, Alzari Joseph, Shamar Joseph, Brandon King, Evan Lewis, Moti Rutherford, Jaden Seals, and Shepherd.
It's a
good coaches.
It is a good
Darren
squad.
Sammy.
And Rafi Rampal is the bowling coach.
Yeah.
That was a bit of a surprise. Guys.
I'm not surprised Rafi Rampal went to the 2022 Cricket World Cup as a player.
A surprise.
That is a surprise, not this.
And he's a very knowledgeable cricket coach.
I think it's time that we get into the segment that the fans have been waiting for.
Yes.
To those that send their questions, I hope that we answer their questions, and I hope that you send in more questions to us. Difficult questions that would make me scratch my head, probably go back to my days when I had no hair. So this is the $6,666.66 per question segment. So listen well. I'm going to ask Michelangelo if he can please remind me of the number, because I am terrible with numbers.
All right, the number is 646-1535.
You're terrible with numbers, but you know how much money for
You're terrible with numbers outside of money.
Outside of money, yes. So it's 646
1535.
and so 3 answers. You win $100. You have 7 days to claim your prize. I hope the producer allows me to claim it if you don't claim it, but you have 7 days. And the first question reads, which cricketer has the record for retiring and returning to cricket how many times? In cricket terminology, what is a Chinese cut? And the final question, an umpire called a no ball, but the batsman did not hear. He was then caught by a fielder, and as such, he started to walk out of the crease. The fielder then throws the ball and hits the wicket. What is the umpire's decision?
Wow, actually again, but I remember that incident.
All these short questions are very difficult.
Oh, that's something that we
But
never do.
I hope you guys are paying attention and study these questions hard and give your best answer, because who doesn't want to win 20,000?
I'll come back next week to collect my money, right?
Alright guys, we have to take a quick commercial break, but before I go, I just want to say thank you to Edward B. Harry, who have sponsored us under the Pulse Energy Drink brand. So tasty, delicious, I'm addicted to it. And C-Rock Sports Bar, you could tell that the environment is just different, it's fun, and the vibes is definitely here. So see you on the other side of the break.
I in a mood right now. Said we ready. I can't worry about no way I can fix. I want some rum, I want some girls, I want some weed. I want party. Yo, kiss what we tell I'm in a mood and I want turn up.
You should talk how you're feeling.
Pour some rum right now in my cup.
I can see how you're feeling.
Power through anything with Pulse Energy Drink. Choose from mango, sugar-free, and original. Get charged with Pulse.
Welcome back, guys. We're on the home stretch for HowZat at the beautiful C-Rock Sports Bar. I think I'm going to stick around after you guys have wrapped up because I have some games to watch and some other things. But we have had a truly enjoyable episode today. Of course, we got a lot of insight from our two guests, Parmeshwar Ram and of course Nadia Andrews, who's organizing that women's T15 tournament this August. I have to say, as a woman, I am so appreciative of seeing someone come in and do this for women's cricket. If I had the resources and if I had the connections to do it, I would have. So to see somebody doing this for women's cricket is so great. But to hear that them people say that, oh, you know, this is exactly, you can't do it yourself. Guys,
We shouldn't
anyways.
be surprised though. We shouldn't be surprised because the emphasis is not being placed on women's cricket in Guyana. So that was the reason why we needed something more for women's cricket, and this is actually great. A great.
I hope this is just
Most
the launch.
of the islands doesn't place enough emphasis on women's cricket, maybe apart from Trinidad and Barbados.
Yeah, I hope this is the launch pad for something, you know,
For
better for the women's game in the country. Yeah.
Well, we can only wait and see. We have a few more months to see how the tournament goes, and then in the time after to see how it impacts women's cricket in Guyana specifically. I'm hoping that the powers that be can see the positive effects of this tournament and then say, hey, you know what? We need to be doing XYZ. And not only give support, but give the women more opportunities to, showcase their talent.
I was impressed with two things she said. Decentralizing the game where the fans in Borbies can go and see.
Yep.
And bringing in a foreign team or foreign teams.
Yeah, they need to compete against people outside of their comfort zone. We see what's happening in the regional tournament right now, so...
we actually have a lot to look forward to in the coming weeks. The IPL, it's crunch time there, and the Breakout League. I'm not sure if Guyana is going to win, but it's good to see new players coming to the front. Riyad Latif, and hopefully get some more wickets by the end of the breakout, and hopefully we can have Mumbai Indians securing another qualification.
And Lucknow.
Well, my take on the breakout league, Guyana lost their first 3 matches.
Yeah.
They won. Hopefully, yesterday they would have won again.
Yeah.
But my problem is they sent basically a 4-day team to play T20 cricket.
Sean,
yes.
agreed.
That is true, and that is one of the things prior to the team departing. That is one of the things that I asked the management of the team. And well, I basically asked about the transition from the 4-day format to the white ball format, recognizing that you have a majority of the same players. And they said, well, we'll do this and we'll do that and whatnot. And then these guys are coming off of a championship win. But a championship win in a 4-day format is
very different.
Starkly different.
Even for those of Super 50.
It's very different.
Totally opposite.
And we saw that, to me, I think we saw that mostly in their loss against Jamaica last week, where they only lost by 3 runs, but we had batsmen who were batting a 4-day innings.
Yes, agreed.
So, I mean, we can only hope they have to win every other game of this tournament on the trot in order to come back with that trophy. Trinidad have been in red hot form.
And they've already qualified.
Yes, in the number 1 position.
Joshua Da Silva.
Yeah.
Just putting it out.
Yeah.
Alright, Branda, we can get you the one. This is the only one we give you for the day. We can get you the one. But the Mumbai Indians thing, don't feel I forget you,
Alright.
Mm.
Don't feel I forget you. I heard you loud and clear. RCB's winning. RCB's winning. 2 more games. We could win a nice 2. We could win 2 out of the 3 remaining games. We're into the playoffs, possibly in the number 1 spot. We want to go straight to the finals.
To lose to Gujarat.
To lose to who?
Gujarat
That has choked
Titans.
every playoffs.
Oh, don't worry.
That has choked every playoffs,
gonna
Timothy.
win. Wait,
Gujarat.
that's rich. A support of a choking team. Telling you. And we have a trophy. And we have chokers.
That goes to show how big of a
My
choker
team has a trophy. I
Gujarat
just
is.
like to say that.
With the captain
After
that's at
18
Mumbai.
years,
Well, if
after
you look
18
at
years,
Gujarat
Michelangelo.
Titans,
18 years and they can't win nothing?
They
They're worse
top-
than Warriors, man. Oh, jeez.
3 batsmen in the top 5 are from Gujarat Titans.
Yes.
Shai, Subman Gill, Butler, and they've got the leading bowler also.
Yes.
Prashit Krishna.
Yes, and then
that's
they've-
only because Josh Hazelwood didn't play 2 games. But we'll
Okay.
give them that. Go on.
and they've got one of the better leg spinners,
Yeah.
Rashid Khan.
That hasn't had any impact. That is, I think that to me is the most surprising thing
Yeah,
this
it was
IPL
surprising for
season.
me too.
Yeah.
More than the red hot form that RCB might be in, more than Chennai doing absolute nonsense, more than Sunrisers' explosive opening batters choking basically. I think Rashid Khan's performance this year has been the most surprising thing for me this season.
And we have to look at the T20 Blaze also.
Yes.
Women.
Guyana's women are in red hot
Yeah,
form
they-
again.
Yeah, they're in red hot form, but they're not making. None of the teams are batting. That's my main disappointment.
I
You
think-
got to bat.
This tournament is definitely going to be decided when Guyana meets Trinidad. To me, that is going to be the decider. Barbados have already proved that they're not so good this year without Haley Matthews. So Trinidad will be the hurdle.
I favor Guyana to beat Trinidad because they're more experienced players in the Guyana team. Trinidad is a young team.
Yeah.
I want to say condolences to the family of Milton Paidane. He was the last one-day international keeper from Guyana, played in Pakistan and India. Three one-day matches. He died, and his funeral is going to be in Guyana. He died in America. They had a big memorial yesterday for him. It's going to be on Monday, May 12th at the Central Assembly of God Church on Church and East Street. The viewing starts from 1 to 2, and the funeral service begins at 2. Paidana was one of 5 wicketkeepers produced by Guyana before Imlach.
That's a very small number. All right, guys. Well, that's all for us this week on HowZat. We want to thank again Edward Baby Harry for sponsoring us with the Pulse Energy drink. And of course, we want to thank Sea Rock Sports Bar for hosting us this week. Remember to tune in next Wednesday again at 8 p.m. We have so much in store for you. And we got money, guys. We got money for wins. Why wouldn't you want to tune in? Remember to tune in to HowZat. We're wrapping up here today. Join us next time.
Power through anything with Pulse Energy Drink. Choose from mango, sugar-free, and original. Get charged with Pulse.
Guyana TV Network.
This is what she chat and me say what she tell me. Loving that she give me, nobody not gonna know. Keep it on the hush, keep it on the low. Ragamuffin at the Cali Star on the show. Anywhere me go, I say the girl them follow. The way that me
Guyana TV Network.